Immersion and overcoming the challenge of not living through the language, making it your lifestyle. There is an illusion of immersion in the country of the language one is studying. We assume that immersion will serve as a funnel through which knowledge just pours into one's head. One of the most prominent female polyglots, Cato Loam, once said that people have been misled by the Latin proverb stating, "Stones talk." Houses, walls, and buildings do not undertake the task of learning. While it is quite possible to learn a few colloquial expressions under the influence of a local environment, it is not as helpful as people may think. Especially in beginner stages, it is a big waste of money and time. So if you want to benefit from traveling to the country, you should do it at least when you have a foundation in the language, when you are over the threshold level. You can think of it as a good intermediate level. Then it will be much more useful, but again, not a must. The real benefit of immersion in the country is that you will be more motivated to learn the language when you are there. So you should focus on language learning. Also, I really don't recommend going to a language school in the country. Most polyglots either never travel to the country or have a very short trip. One example of this is American polyglot who speaks over 10 languages but hasn't traveled much in his life. He speaks highly fluent French but has been in France for only 2 weeks. But he and most polyglots set their environment in such a way that they are constantly in touch with the language. They integrate it into their life organically. They make it their lifestyle. So what I'm saying is integrating the language into your lifestyle is more important than immersion in the country. But why is that? Let me compare expected benefits of immersion in the country and what usually happens, so that you don't make the same mistakes that a lot of learners do, and get the most out of your immersion. How can you have a true immersion in the country? Number 1. First of all, you need to put a concentrated effort into the language for at least a couple of months before going to the country. Also, you need to be at the individual threshold level according to my stages, or close to the intermediate level according to formal standards. So this way, when you arrive in the country, you are not going to waste your time with books. Number 2. Secondly, do not go to a language school. We expect natural practice opportunities and constant exposure to the language from immersion. But if you go to a language school, you will be more exposed to English. Instead of talking to a native speaker, you will play games and learn grammar in the classroom. So don't go to a language school. Go to a workshop, meetings like the ones from meetup.com. Go to local events, volunteer, couchsurf, find homestays instead of hotels or hostels. Or you can use Airbnb for this purpose. Or take non-language related courses like photography, cinema, anything you have an interest in. And talk to people on the street, to lots of them. Practicing is the best way to learn a language, and it's free and abundant on the streets. Get outside and find every opportunity you can to practice. Number 3. Keep contact with people from your country at a minimum. I know the feeling. It is so tempting to talk to people from your country, and it is going to be fun to say the truth. But resist this urge as much as possible. You are not going there to improve your native language. Homesickness and culture shock can make it harder, especially the first couple of weeks, but keep your eye on the prize. Also, do not interact with other foreigners all the time. This is a very big problem for language schools abroad. It is much more comfortable because you are in the same context and situation as them. New in a foreign country. You all went there to learn a language. You all don't know much about the city and you want to discover it. You all have similar problems. So it is very natural that you will want to be with other foreigners all the time, but I can almost guarantee you that this will slow down your learning. The true benefit of immersion is that you have more motivation to learn a language, and you can find native speakers to practice with much easier than in your own country. So instead of hanging out with tourists, meet and converse with locals, with native speakers. Number 4. Place yourself in situations of need. Go to a city where there are less likely to be people who speak your native language. Choose local events over international ones. If you are doing a homestay, make sure you stay with people who don't speak your mother tongue. Do you need to go shopping? Go to a more local place where you know it's harder to communicate. Having this attitude of choosing the tougher one over the more comfortable one will do you wonders. Number 5. Keep a small notebook and pen on you at all times. This is very simple advice. When you are talking to natives, you are going to be introduced to new words all the time, and you need to take note of them to learn them, or you are going to forget them. Just carry a small notebook or write them in your phone. I can't emphasize how important this is, and how most people miss this opportunity to learn much more. When knowledge of a new language is limited, people often worry about what they will talk about with natives. Embrace language learning as a topic of conversation. They can even help you with your list. Better than immersion in the country, immersion in your lifestyle. Make it your lifestyle. Well, I already explained in the principles of language learning that you need to put a certain daily concentrated effort into your learning journey. This is the only way to learn to speak fluently. So for this, you need to integrate your target language into your lifestyle. How can you do that? Spend time on your interests in the target language. Whatever your interest is, try to enjoy it in your target language. You are interested in animals? Follow animal forums in German if you are learning German. Replace as many of your English medium activities as possible with equivalents in the language you're learning. Listen to music. Find songs and artists you like and put them into your regular playlists. Then Google the lyrics of your favorite songs and get busy translating and understanding the song. Subscribe to interesting YouTube channels. This one is my favorite. There are thousands of good quality YouTube channels in many languages. You can easily find them based on your interests. Set your iPhone, TV, and computer to your target language. Even if only for a few words, seeing the same things every day will teach you. Surf the internet in your target language. To read the language consistently, you can find cool blogs and other popular sites on Alexa's ranking of top sites per country. Follow pages on Facebook. I follow humor pages on Facebook, and once in a while they show up on my feeds. While wasting time on Facebook, it helps you be exposed to the language regularly. Other social media. If you enjoy Vine or other social media, find people who speak your target language there. Chat online with native speakers. Chatting with native speakers online helps a lot in the beginner stages because it gives you time to think. A slow motion opportunity to practice what you learned. It also helps to see the gaps in your knowledge. And most importantly, have a regular contact with native speakers. If you don't live in a very small city, chances are you can make native friends. Interact with them regularly. Attend international events. If you are convinced that there aren't any natives where you live, then there is a website called italki that you can take advantage of. It is a social network that connects students and natives together to have conversations in the video form like Skype. It is paid, but although they are cheap, you can also earn minutes or money helping others who learn your native language. Many polyglots use and highly recommend it.